Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be showing you how to check your BMW clutch for wear and how you can detect it before your clutch even goes out. Now this only applies for the manual transmission. There is another way to check it for the automatic transmission, which I'm going to be showing you as well. We're going to be using ISTA, and I'm going to show you, and I'm also going to put up a screenshot of a brand new clutch showing you what the characteristics should be when it's new and how you can tell when it's actually wearing down. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to check your clutch for actual wear on your BMW. And as I said, this does apply for all manual BMW cars because they all have a sensor which can detect if your clutch is worn or on its way out. Okay guys, as you'll see here, when they're using the M5, and I'm using the M5 purely just because it's the only manual transmission I've actually got on a BM, which a lot of you guys know, the SMG gearbox, which is here, is actually a manual gearbox. So I'm going to show you how you can check your clutch for wear. And as I said, this doesn't just relate for the M5, this does relate for all manual cars as well. Providing you have ISTA, you'll be able to check your clutch for wear. A lot of people don't know this because a lot of people don't have ISTA. A lot of people don't know how to get into it to actually check it. So I'm going to show you how you can check it. Okay guys, as you'll see here, we're now in ISTA. I've loaded it all up. I was going to show you guys how to do that, but I think a lot of you guys already have this program and probably already know how to do that. So now we're in ISTA. The first thing you're going to want to have to go to is up to vehicle management, which a lot of people always get confused and they don't know how to access everything. You want to go into service functions, which is right here. Then you're going to want to go to powertrain, SMG transmission control units, and then you're going to want to go to service functions. Then you're going to want to hit exchange and repair, replacement and repair. Then once the ABL loads up, as you'll see. Now a lot of you are probably scared to touch this because you think, oh my God, well, I'm not touching anything on this because I'm not doing any of this, but no. This is how you'd reset the adapters on the gearbox as well, if you ever have to reset them. So the first one you're going to want to go to is clutch. You don't want to touch any of the others. Just hit clutch and continue. What you want to go ahead and do is after clutch replacement. Now I know the clutch ain't been replaced, so we're just going to do that anyway. So this is how you would check your clutch, but it's the only way to check. So we're going to click no, because we're not bleeding the hydraulic system on it because we didn't open up the gearbox. Now we're going to do teaching clutch valve characteristic values, as you'll see here. So you just click 1 and then you click continue. Now you will start hearing the gearbox go ballistic. It says engine off, terminal 15 on, which means ignition on, as you'll see there. I'm going to click yes. Now I am going to put a picture up showing you the new characteristic values because we're going to see a before and after. And this is how to check if your clutch is warm. So straight after this, obviously you're not going to hear me speaking, it's going to be a picture. You'll see the clutch characteristic values on my one compared to the picture I'm going to put up. And that was when a clutch is brand new. That's the characteristics, the characteristics it should have, and you'll see the difference on a brand new clutch. So we'll know if mine is actually new or getting to the point of worn. And this is what you guys can actually make out on your clutch if yours is going worn or not. So we're going to go ahead and click continue down here. As you'll see here, the cog light will come on. It's perfectly normal while it runs the test. It's going to start doing all the characteristic values. So we're just going to let it do its thing. It's running the program, so you don't want to touch anything. It can, as you see here, it can take up to 3 minutes. The reason this gong is going off is purely because it's lost connection to the transmission because we're doing this. So we're just going to leave it running. And as it does say, the teaching program could take up to 3 minutes. So you just want to leave it doing this thing, and we'll come back once this is actually completed. So as you've seen there, we're now on position 2, where it's going to gain the clutch. Position controller gain clutch before it does anything after. So we're waiting for it just to finish up all this tests and and see what the status is after. But as you see, it can take up to 3 minutes, so we're just waiting for it. So that's the next step it's doing, is position controller gain clutch. So we're just waiting for that. And I can hear the gearbox clicking away, which is what it will do when you're testing it. I know a lot of people say only do this when the clutch is warm, but as you see there, the teaching has been complete. Now it's going to ask us teaching the clutch slipping point, which we're going to do now. We're going to click yes. And what we're going to go ahead and do is we've got to start the car for this one to be taught in. So we're going to start up the car, as you'll see. Then we're going to go ahead and do is press continue, and I can feel it teaching it in. You'll start feeling the car move. That's where the clutch is going in and out. Now what we're going to do is click continue, and now we're going to see the new values. So as you'll see there, these are the new clutch slipping points before and after. I am going to put a picture up to show you guys. This is it. As you see there, the clutch characteristic curve was successfully reset. But as you'll see there, my clutch is actually very, very good. And when you actually go and see the image that I've got there, it means this clutch is really, really good on the car. So we don't even have to worry about it. And as you'll see there, that is how you'd be able to bring your clutch characteristics up. You saw the ones I did. My values were actually pretty good for the before and after. So we've done that. So now you know how to see if your clutch is worn or actually good. So guys, we are going to take it out for a drive, because doing this with the SMG transmission is basically the same as resetting the adaptions. So I'm going to show you how quick now the gears will change now I've reset the adaptions. So as you have seen there, my clutch is basically like brand new. So I have no need to actually change it. So that's a really good sign, and I knew that anyway, and it hasn't been driven much since the clutch was changed, therefore the clutch is actually really good. So we're going to go out and just drive it, and I'm going to show you how quick it actually changes through the gears. So guys, as you're seeing there, the gears are actually changing very good. It's actually changing gear perfectly. Now we'll come to a stop in a minute and just show you how smoother the gears are changing now. As you see, I've got it in the lowest setting set for the gear ratio, but the gears, as you see, you know, a lot of people usually say when the rev meter is staying on par with the speedometer, you can usually tell it's a good clutch. So I'm going to stop in a second and I'm going to show you how good the clutch actually is. So what we're going to do is we're just going to stop here, slow down right here, so it drops all the gears down, and then what I'm going to do is we're just going to go off, so we're going to take off. So as you'll see there, and as you see, it's changing nicely. You guys to see. As you see there, it's shifting through the gears very nice. You can see what gear it's in straight away. It's changing gears. Let's see if it just drops down the gear. It should drop down now, which it did. Lift the throttle and drop down. As you see, it's now dropped down the gear. Bearing in mind the temperature ain't warmed up, so I'm not going to thrash the car, but as you see it's changing gear very smoothly, very nicely. Now, if a lot of you don't know how to do this on your cars, you now know how to do it. Now, a lot of people will only do this when you get the clutch change. You can do this as much as you want, and it's a good way to see if your clutch is worn. If you know what you're looking for, you can check the clutch wear. I mean, you're not going to be able to tell if it's just going to instantly give up on you, but you'll be able to get a good sign and indication of when it needs changing by them characteristic values. As you see there, it's changing perfectly, but it always did anyway, this car. But I just like to keep an eye on everything on the car, and you see in there, it just shifts beautifully. Okay guys, so there you have it. So I hope you guys have actually now seen how to actually check your clutch characteristics on your BMW. Regardless if it's a M5, SMG, SSG, a manual, you can do this with ISTA and be able to check your characteristic values. Now, these are the characteristic values as you would have seen for an SMG. It may be different for a normal manual, but I don't think it will be, because this is basically a manual transmission with a manual clutch. So I hope this video is going to have helped you, and I've shown you another tip that you can do using ISTA on how to check your clutch for wear. So thank you very much for watching. It's BMW Dr. Dean here, and goodbye.